Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. I really do appreciate it. We have so much to review. And so I wanted to kind of get us going because I definitely have I'm not sure if I'm gonna be live later because I'm hearing rumors about other stuff happening as it pertains to this case. So I have to kind of keep my schedule open for that. But oh, you're gonna have to wait, my love. Give me a handshake, thank you. Here. Hold up, y'all, because you know baby bunny comes first. What is that? Oh, you're gonna have to wait for that, honey. Okay, deal? All right. So yeah, we gonna have to, kind of keep our schedules open. So everybody, welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Notifications finally found. Did they actually work? That's the question. Did they actually work? Oh my goodness. Let's get started with this because we have new pieces. Go ahead, honey. New pieces of information that just came out last night, and so I kind of want to review those. There's just so much information that keeps coming out, so I'm doing my best to kind of keep up with it all. Let's start with this. Apparently there are multiple sources that are reporting that a significant amount of blood was found in the home. Okay. So, okay. Well, you got to give me a second, baby. All right. So let me play this and you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments.
As we also know, investigators conducted a thorough search of the Haro family home, even bringing in scent dogs. What they reportedly discovered is deeply troubling. A large amount of blood inside the residence. For an immobile infant like Emmanuel, such a finding strongly suggests that something horrific occurred, and it's unlikely to have been the result of an accident. Adding to the mystery, all photos of Emmanuel were said to have been removed from the home, as well as any baby clothing, raising the question, how long had he truly been gone?
Police continue to search for the body of...
So, blood, a significant amount of blood was found in the home. Photos removed. Clothes removed. You know what, Elsa, and people are saying the same thing too. That's why mom is saying 7 months when he should be 9. How? I mean, that's a great question. The age of this child, like, listen, a mother, when she loses her child, I've known too many mothers that, man, they keep that baby room the same way. They keep those rooms the same way. They never change that, right? We know that at least what's been shown and what's been told, it's 7 months. But is this baby truly 7 months? Has anyone seen a birth certificate? Okay. People were saying that there was baby clothes in a dumpster fire. One of the questions that I had asked when the story first broke, I said, how do we really know he was wearing a Nike onesie? Was that the last thing he was wearing? So off. All of this is so off, you know? Good morning, everybody. Good morning for those that are coming through. Again, if this is a very hard story to cover. If it's too much, take care of you and your mental health, your family. Like I'm telling you, man, I look at my fam, my youngest, my oldest. I don't get it, Anyways, let's keep going.
9-month-old Emmanuel Haro tonight. Sources...
Y'all notice she said 9-month-old. Okay? But for the longest time, it was 7-month-old. How long has this baby been gone? And that goes back to the same question. When was the last time somebody had eyes on this baby? Look at the way they're reporting it. Let me go back a little bit.
Horrific occurred, and it's unlikely to have been the result of an accident. Adding to the mystery, all photos of Emmanuel were said to have been removed from the home, as well as any baby clothing, raising the question, how long had he truly been gone?
Police continue to search for the body of 9-month-old Emmanuel Haro tonight. Sources tell News Nation that police believe the father killed the baby, and they say it happened inside the home. Sources tell us a substantial amount of blood was found on the carpet inside.
Crazy. I was listening to a report yesterday that the landlord that actually owns the property, which was another thing, like who owns the property? There's a landlord that owns the property. And apparently the landlord was really upset, of course, like for the horrific news, right? But to know that this happened at his property that he rented, like, this is horrible, horrible. Let me go back because it's like she's saying 9-month old, but I swear to God, and I don't want to like gaslight myself. I know for a fact we've been reporting that this child is 7 months old. So now he's 9 months old. Nothing, it's something is off about this. No, they don't own the property. I thought the same thing too. I said, man, this is a big property. They probably own it. They don't. It's like a rental property. The landlord came over during the time that they were going through, because he has to be there. He's watching everything go down. He is hearing the news. And I was listening to another reporter who was saying that the landlord was just visibly, like, he was crying. He was upset.
It happened inside the home. Sources tell us a substantial amount of blood was found on the carpet inside.
Could his death have occurred days or even weeks before he was ever reported missing? At this point, investigators haven't confirmed the timeline, and no credible sightings of Emmanuel have been officially reported, including from the ball field where his parents claim to have last taken the infant before the alleged abduction.
So was that supposed to be the alibi? Now it all makes sense in terms of that, right? Was the ball game supposed to be this alibi situation where it's like, maybe they start talking to a couple people there. We saw a baby. When was the last time the grandmother saw the baby? No, we don't know. We know for a fact that the baby wasn't at a funeral that they had, what was it, 2 weeks before or a week and a half before? We know that for a fact that the baby wasn't there. She was even asked about the baby. So all of this is not making sense. This baby has probably been gone for a good maybe 2 weeks, maybe longer. Because who's had eyes on this baby? They concocted this story to figure out, well, family's going to start asking. People are going to start calling. People are going to start wondering, what do we say to them? What do we say to them?
And now we can say alleged murder. No relatives have reported seeing Emmanuel in recent weeks either, which suggests that Rebecca and Jake may have had plenty of time to conceal what happened and dispose of crucial evidence.
Lauren, sources tell News Nation not only that there was a lot of blood inside the home, but that all the photos of Emmanuel had been removed from the house. All the baby's clothing had been thrown away. How long do we think this baby might have been dead?
I think that we are suspecting actually quite a long time. According to the true crime podcasting community, they have been speculating when the last time Emmanuel was seen. We're hearing various dates, some even saying as early as August 3rd, but there's no sighting that we have known of the day of this. Now we don't even have to say alleged kidnapping. Well, I guess alleged kidnapping still, but
you know what I was thinking? If I was law enforcement, and I'm sure they probably already looked into it because they're the guys on the job and they're smart and that's what they do. I would be checking to see when was the last time mom or dad took a picture of this baby to kind of give me a timeline of when this baby was probably around. And I say this because typically I got so many photos, even before baby Bunny was born. She's my youngest, but of my middle child, of my oldest, where for the first year, 3 years, it's like 4 years, it's like photos all over. I got a cloud. I got more photos on my cloud phones between the Google and the iCloud. Photos everywhere. More than I do all over my walls. Okay, because there's just so many moments that you captured, right? So you would have to imagine that when was the last time that she took a photo of this baby on her phone? Typically, these are the developmental years, right? You take pictures. Oh, your kid's making a funny face. Oh, you take a video. They said mama or dada, or they're lifting up their head, or they're blinking very cute. These are the significant moments of their lives, right? So that would be a way in which I would determine when was the last time that anybody this baby was around,
Alleged murder in this case.
Alleged murder now, right? Exactly. Thank you, Elizabeth. And we are seeing this sort of pattern of like, it's been quite some time since baby Emmanuel has been seen. So who knows when this alleged murder now actually even happened. As we shared earlier this week, baby clothing was also allegedly discovered in a dumpster near the family home.
I heard this
While
too.
authorities have not confirmed whether the clothing belonged to Emmanuel, the fact that none of his clothes were found in the house only deepens suspicion. We're also learning new details about what may have happened in the days leading up to the reported abduction. Sources indicate that Rebecca and Jake Haro may have actually been scouting the Big Five parking lot beforehand, specifically to assess the surveillance camera situation.
That's what people were saying. And again, this is coming from the true crime community. This is not law enforcement. But, you know, I love I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've noticed a shift since I started my channel to where we're at right now, where the true crime community is actually being heard in certain things and information that they're collecting, right? The community is coming together to collect this information to put it out there. There's some information out there that people will say that's just like horribly wrong. Like there were people out there who were saying they found the baby in a landfill. Wasn't true. We know this, but people immediately corrected what they needed to correct and then jumped on to make sure that the information was consistent. And I love that. I love that.
It's been reported that in the days prior, the Haros either called or visited the shopping center, claiming something had been stolen from their vehicle. And what was their alleged purpose? To find out whether cameras were watching the parking lot.
Wow.
As it turns out, the Big Five itself had no cameras pointed at the parking lot. But what the Haros may not have accounted for, or, actually maybe considered, is that other nearby businesses did, including a clothing store, a jewelry shop, and even a restaurant across the street. Those cameras, investigators say, could end up being critical to the case. In another disturbing revelation, we've learned that
it's crazy that they really thought they don't have any camera. They went into the store purposely to scope it out. They were planning already. They just never really thought. Like, these guys are idiots. Jake Haro is an idiot. He's a monster. He's an idiot. And I'm so glad that a lot of information has come out of it. He's an idiot. They really thought they were going to get away with this.
Just days before the reported abduction, Rebecca and Jake Haro were seen at the Do It Best Home Center in Beaumont, California. And according to these reports, they attempted to purchase a tool known as a sawzall. The store didn't have one in stock, so no purchase was made. Now, we can't say for certain why they wanted the saw. Maybe it was for a project. When you place that attempted purchase against the backdrop of murder charges, your mind goes in unsettling directions. The possibility that it could have been intended for some—
What project? What project? I mean, I don't even think Jake Haro was employed. What project did he have? What renovations? What were they doing?
Something far darker is horrifying to even consider. And sadly, there is precedent for violence in this family. Jake Haro has been accused in the past of severely abusing another one of his children, a baby, leaving her permanently disabled, unable to see, speak, or walk. Meanwhile, Rebecca reportedly has no relationship with her two oldest daughters. Taken together, it raises questions about their capacity for parental care or lack thereof. What makes this all the more chilling is how both Rebecca and Jake presented themselves publicly. They stood on television side by side begging for help to find their son. But if prosecutors are right, that entire story was a fabrication.
That's what makes me so mad, you guys, that there's so many like children that go missing. Go ahead, baby girl. There's so many children that go missing, y'all. Go ahead, honey. And these guys did this, like, just used the media, played in people's faces. I don't know how you can even not be mad about that. I don't know.
They cried, pleaded, and portrayed themselves as desperate parents, all while allegedly knowing what really happened to Emmanuel. Anyone who can carry out such an act and then so convincingly lie to the public leaves open the terrifying question: what else might they have been capable of? So, what happens now that Rebecca and Jake Haro are behind bars? Many experts believe investigators will work to turn the couple against each other.
Yep.
We know from Jake's past that he's no stranger to shifting blame onto his partner,
Everybody.
a pattern that could easily resurface in this case. But given his
Or his sister. Believe it or not. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit.
history of violence, it's very possible he was the one who harmed baby Emmanuel. And according to Elizabeth Vargas, well, I was on a panel for the Elizabeth Vargas report. She claims Jake is responsible for the alleged murder.
Sources tell News Nation that police believe the father killed the baby, and they say it happened inside the home.
If that proves true, the big question becomes whether Rebecca, now separated from Jake behind bars and facing serious charges herself, will finally break her silence and tell investigators what really happened.
No. Let me tell you something. She could very well, and a lot of us speculated, oh man, she's probably a victim of DV. And that could very well be the case. Somebody who gets on camera, looks at the camera, looks away from the camera. Hola, and he did this to me. Don't laugh at me. They're laughing at me. Oh my God. And it was a fake the whole time. It was a fake. Not thinking about your child, but that was a fake. I don't care if she turns on him. She needs to stay there too. Okay?
The next steps in this investigation may hinge on whether one of them decides to talk. In the meantime, the search for baby Emmanuel's body continues. Authorities are following up on multiple leads, including a dam in Paris, California, and a landfill in Beaumont. One of the reporters who has been on the front lines of this case from the very beginning, Ahmed Beozo, has even been tracking down tips himself. In fact, right after he filmed one particular lead, sheriff's deputies arrived at the same location to investigate. Take a look.
Ahmed Beozo, we have made it to Yucaipa, California, a new lead where Rebecca and Jake Haro were seen here at the Sanctuary Church in Yucaipa, California. And it was midnight. My constituent and source was driving with his family. He said he observed Rebecca and Jake Haro driving up and down 5th Street in Yucaipa on the 12th at midnight, okay? You see Rebecca pushing a black stroller
Look at this.
to the back of the property. You can see just how vast this property is here on the Tira. Rebecca was seen pushing a black stroller through the property here, and you can see there's rocks there. There's a whole layout on the Tira. There's containers over there, homie. There's a tree line here as well. And then you can see this property is very, very vast on the Tira. And so the question remains, what was Rebecca and Jake Haro doing here at midnight with a black stroller on this property? And so if we get closer, you can see police should really take a look at this portion of the Tira, homie. Wow. Just wow. There is a hole in the fence here. There is a sewer drainage here. I mean, it's just a vast, there's a box.
He's out there.
Oh, thank goodness. It's literally enough for you fine folks to get a cadaver team out here in Yucaipa, homie. I really hope this information helps here on 5th Street and Yucaipa Boulevard at the Sanctuary Church, homie. There is a drain here. You can see that there is, in fact, a drain here on the Tira. Now you see here on this portion of the drain, there is fresh dirt here. There's another small pile here. Doesn't look like it would be anything, no. If police wanted to come out here and look, this would be a very, very good place to start. Sheriff's deputies have now entered the chat. Ahmed Belloso, you can see them here. They are going, baby, bring the flashlight. You guys come over here. You can see here now, San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies have now entered the chat here. We don't know if it could be possibly an animal or we don't know. And so thank goodness that the sheriff's deputies have now entered the chat here to try to figure out.
Oh my God. Man, this is like they're getting the tips and they're out there and they're following. They need to get some cadaver dogs out there.
If we can, in fact, get some answers on the tira. How you doing? I'm just gonna follow the deputies here.
Oh my God.
Do you mind if I walk with you, deputy or sergeant? Okay, so
We do something and it's not we don't disturb a crime scene.
okay, that's fine. It's right. It should be right there by the 5th post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be a small hole in the ground. There should be a little makeshift cross.
Oh my God.
More to the right. There's a hole there.
According to Ahmed, detectives are also looking into the grandmother, who may know more than she has shared publicly. She was seen on camera speaking with reporters and appearing emotional, but now investigators suspect she could have key information about what really happened to baby Emmanuel.
Tira means strip. So it's like on the strip. That's what it is. But in Spanish is on la tira, like on the strip.
Ahmed's dedication to this case really has been remarkable. He's out in the community daily, gathering footage, speaking with witnesses, and pushing out updates that have helped investigators generate new leads. Many locals who might hesitate to approach law enforcement feel comfortable coming to him with tips. And that's been instrumental in keeping information flowing. And what makes his work even more extraordinary is what he's facing personally.
Yeah.
Ahmed is battling cancer and just days ago underwent a bone marrow biopsy. Despite that, he continues to put himself out there, often in extreme heat, even fainting from exhaustion at the Haro home during their arrest.
Yeah, he fell hard.
Did you fall down?
Yeah, I was filming and I think I just got a little too exerted.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your sugar. Let's check that.
You say you have high blood pressure or low blood pressure?
I'm on medication for high blood pressure. I'm on steroids for cancer, chemo.
Blood thinner?
No. No blood thinners, no
man.
opioids, no benzos, nothing.
Is your blood pressure usually on the higher end?
Always high.
Always high.
Super high.
Like he's out there in the heat.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Through all of this, it's clear he has a deep compassion for Emmanuel, and his coverage has helped keep the public in the loop. If you want to follow his reporting, you can find him under the name On the Tira across all platforms. After the scene settled down, on Friday evening, the community gathered outside the Haro family home with softly glowing candles. The vigil was a solemn reminder of the heartbreak surrounding this tragic case.
My goodness.
A vigil for baby Emmanuel drew dozens in Cabazon, many relieved by his parents' arrest and in anguish over the 7-month-old's whereabouts.
We just wanted to get together and kind of just show them that we are here for baby Emmanuel. He deserved the justice, and I'm really hoping that he's found alive.
Investigators, unfortunately, do not believe Emmanuel is alive. The baby's parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, were arrested Friday morning.
And it's like she's not crying. She's not upset. This baby has been gone for so many weeks, man. And I hate the fact that, like I told you guys when we got here, we were like, I really hope that we're wrong and that, like, I would be so willing to say I was wrong about this. But oh my God, man. It's like in the pit of my stomach. And I know some of you guys felt the same way. This is not going to end well. No. And it's not going to be, we know what it was going to be, but we didn't want it to be that.
On suspicion of murder.
I feel like it gives me more questions.
Because, like, how, as a parent, like, even just as a person, can you do it to an innocent child?
The arrest comes 8 days after the Haros reported Emmanuel missing, claiming he was kidnapped outside a Big Five store in Yucaipa. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department says Jake and Rebecca later stopped cooperating with investigators. The story has struck a chord with many parents in the Inland Empire.
And our youngest being 4 months, so I mean, it kind of hits home for us because, you know, I mean, we have kids ourselves.
All hoping for some answers and justice for baby Emmanuel.
Hopefully we find the baby. That's what we want.
We want to know what happened to Emmanuel.
Darsha Phillips, NBC4 News.
And we will continue to follow every development. Hidden True Crime right here until the day baby Emmanuel is found and the justice he deserves is delivered.
Shout out to Hidden True Crime. You guys make sure you check them out. There's another blogger who I was watching. Shout out to Sylvia who sent me this link and listen to what she has to say.
Hey, you guys, I hope you can hear me. I'm in my car outside my house just trying to decompress and take everything in. I did make friends with news reporters like you guys saw on the live. They were super, super sweet. I was able to get up closer. I'm going to post that clip in just a little bit. I know that there's going to be a press conference. I've been getting information that it will probably be here at 4. No location, but they did tell me that if it's...
So I'm going to keep... This was 15 hours ago, so I'm assuming that was yesterday. We all expected a press conference. That never happened. But I'm going to keep my eyes open, like I said, if it happens today, which I highly doubt it's going to because it's the weekend. I do wonder if they're going to do a presser before they go to court, which they probably won't see a judge until what, Monday? I'm thinking Monday or Tuesday.
It's tentative. That means that it can be moved to maybe even later. So I'm trying to get all of that stuff aligned so I can go from there and just... I did get some information, and I'm going to say that it's confirmed because it's from the actual news station news reporters that told me that while they were here at the home of Jake and Rebecca, they were also searching the sister's home. And I'm going to say that that is Jake's sister. She's the one that's really been kind of out there in the media that people know.
Jake's sister. Man, have we forgotten about that lady. I haven't heard a lot of people mention Jake's sister. Remember Jake's sister, you guys? Where I think it was like maybe the following day, she was also on social media and she was speaking out. We're going to pull her video too, but has she been quiet too? Because she was also at that funeral or at the service where Rebecca had we were looking at Rebecca. She was there too. She was actually seen on video. Has anybody asked about what's going on with Jake's sister now? What is she saying now?
There's no confirmation, no word on the mother. We were talking about that. They didn't have anything on her. I know people are saying that the mother was there this morning. I didn't see the mother leave, but I don't know for sure. I did get confirmation from the highway patrol, and I just want to shout him out. I don't think he's watching this, but he was so sweet, so amazing to me. He was very, very calm. He was giving me information as he was kind of getting anything. But he said that the home is not owned by Jake and Rebecca. The actual owner of the property was there. He was in the F-150. I have video on my other video of him in his truck. And
Care Bear, she deleted all her social media? Care Bear says Jake's sister deleted all her social media. No way. Oh, I might have to check on TikTok because I think she was on TikTok and that's where she was talking. I forgot what her handle was. No way. She's like, I'm out of here. Because she wasn't like, I wouldn't say she was covering for him, but she was kind of like playing it off too. She knows. She knows. We're going to watch her stuff again, okay? Let me hit play on this.
He just said that he is devastated and distraught. Now, the news reporter did tell me that with the way that they are charged and what he's seen previously, that they can get charged with this crime without the body. That is what they told me while I was there talking to him.
Substantial evidence.
He also was letting me know that with the way that they were taken in their charges, that means that they have hard evidence. They have hard evidence. The camera footage has been restored from what I was told too while I was out there. there's just so much. I know that it was taped off when I was there. I don't know if they're going to tape it, like untape it for people to get back in, but neighbors were leaving as we were there. And I don't know if the vigil is going to still happen tonight. All I know is that this is the news that I know we were all anticipating that we were going to get, but not the news that I think anyone wanted. So right now, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to decompress. Whenever I get the information about the press release, I'm going to go and try and go there. I have to wait for my husband to come home because I won't take my babies out in this. So we'll see what happens with all of that. And right now, I think just pray. If you believe in God or a higher being or something, please just pray that they find this baby. This baby deserves to be put to rest properly, and he deserves to be able to have his soul and everything just really taken in, and he deserves that.
Yeah, this baby deserves a proper burial. This is the least that, like, honestly, this baby deserves to be put to rest properly. The way in which all of this has gone down is just crazy to me. Anyways, let me stop. So this is the sister, okay? Now I remember watching some of this. I guess people are saying on social, and I can't find her account anymore. I'm trying to see what her initial handle was. People are saying that she's deleted everything.
Giving out flyers. People came out, prayed for us, prayed for Emmanuel. It's been a very hard time for our family. I haven't slept. My brother hasn't slept. We just want him back. And there is a lot of discussion on whether my nephew is special needs. He is late in development, but as far as we know, the doctors say that he's in great health. He's fine. He just has a lazy eye, and that made him more beautiful than anybody I know, because I loved him so much. It didn't
Hold
matter
up.
what he looked like.
See what I'm saying is, let me give you guys an example. Look at what this social media person posted. They found the head of missing 7-month-old baby Emmanuel Haro. His parents are blamed. Who found? None of this has been determined. This was an hour ago. Do you see what I'm saying? People are literally posting this kind of stuff, and it's like, where? What? Why would you say that? We don't know that. You're not there. Like, why? Like, people got to be careful when they say stuff like this. Anyways, I don't know what, like, the fact that they would just put that out there. They found that. Don't you think that would be breaking news at this point, and they would, like, have people out there? She literally posted this. This just makes me so sad, because it's like, yeah, like, it's sick. It's sick, y'all. We don't have to lie. The news is already horrific. Like, you don't have to lie. You don't have to put misinformation out. It's crazy to me, y'all. Some people are just gross on social media. This piece of information, though, is true. And I shout out to SF Investigates if you don't follow him on Twitter. SF Investigates was able to get the declaration in support of an arrest warrant for 2018. Okay, for 2018. So we're going to look at this and review it. This is, let me see if I can zoom in, because I know some of y'all won't be able to read it. Let's see if I can actually pull it and make it bigger for everybody to see it. This is the official document. And this is a 2018 document. Y'all won't be able to read it. I'm sorry. I'll have to put it on the community wall. Okay. So if you guys remember, in 2018, Jake Haro and Vanessa were both charged with child cruelty, okay, of their at the time she was 10 weeks old. Promise Faith, her name was changed to Promise Faith after a adoption happened. Jake Haro and Vanessa Haro's rights were legally terminated by the courts, not just of Promise but of the oldest brother too, who happened to have FAS as well, as a result of these two parents. So here's a declaration, attachment declaration. Okay, I'll check it out. Attachment declaration in support of arrest warrant, and this is in 2018. Jake Haro said that on October 12, 2018, after Vanessa dropped him off at work, he took V1's temperature. V1 is victim one's temperature, and saw that it was 99-100 degrees. Jake gave V1 Tylenol and decided to bathe her in the kitchen sink. While holding V1 to let the water rinse off her, she slipped out of his hands and fell into the sink. Jake said that the left side of V1's chest hit the center of the divider of the dual basin sink. Okay. Jake immediately picked up V1 and did not notice any signs of injuries. Jake said Vanessa returned home about 40 minutes after she dropped him off. Jake and Vanessa that he dropped V1. Jake told Vanessa that he dropped V1 on the sink. Jake said he went to the bed around 2100 to 2200 hours. Give me one sec, y'all. Okay. So he said that hold up. Jake said that he went to bed around 2100 hours to 2200 hours. Jake was awakened by Vanessa in the early morning hours and told Jake something is wrong with the baby. Vanessa told Jake to feel V1's back. Jake said he immediately felt something crackle and not right with V1's back. Jake said V1 was crying, but it was not her normal cry. It was different, but he could not explain how. I informed Jake he had previously mentioned that he felt crackling on V1's back. Jake said it was very noticeable. I asked Jake if he felt that crackling when he bathed her, put lotion, or changed V1 after she fell, and he said he did not. Jake and Vanessa are the only adults in the home and are the only caretakers of V1, victim one. Vanessa told me that she would not talk to me without her attorney present and refused to answer any questions. Doesn't that sound familiar to what Rebecca said? Right? I mean, Marshy, that is a great question. Again, this is pertaining to their first victim, okay? Jake's first victim, which is Promise Faith. I arrived at Hemet Valley Hospital and I contacted Dr. Elliott. Dr. Elliott stated that V1 appeared to have multiple healing rib fractures as well as acute fractures. I was also informed V1 had transported to Loma Linda University Medical Center. I responded to Loma Linda Hospital and was informed V1 had been incubated and was in critical condition. After several hours and undergoing multiple tests, forensics pediatrician Dr. Daly provided me with an update on V1. The following a synopsis of the injuries found on V1: acute fracture of the posterior left rib, fifth rib, healing fractures of the posterior lateral left 6th and 7th ribs, as well as the posterior left 10th through 12th ribs. So basically all of her ribs were, it looks like all of the ribs were injured. Healing fractures of the right posterior 6th rib. So this baby had like broken ribs and some of these ribs were healing, as well as the posterior 9th through 12th ribs. Bone fracture, skull fracture, brain hemorrhage, significant prevertebral soft tissue swelling of the neck, healing tibia fracture on right, Dr. Daly informed me that V1 had suffered at least 2 seizures and stated V1's condition could have been fatal if medical attention was not sought. This baby could have died. These injuries would have been very painful because the child caused the child to have difficulty breathing and irritable and crying. This print is very small on my end, y'all. So on December 1st, 2018, Loma Linda University Children's Hospital forensic pediatrician Dr. Daly completed the suspected child abuse and neglect exam, CAN, on V1. In her report, she stated the following opinion. V1 had findings of intracranial hemorrhage, brain injury, cervical spine injury, retinal hemorrhages, accompanied with lethargic and seizures, are consistent with. Okay, hold up. Huh? Yes, I promise. Okay, so they're detailing the fractures, multiple rib fractures. She had consistent with acceleration, force of head with traumatic stress on the neck. The skull fracture is consistent with impact to the head. Multiple rib fractures are typically caused by squeezing mechanism of the chest. Okay, so they were squeezing her, like, oh my God. Dr. Daly further stated the combination of the above findings and a premobile infile in the absence of plausible history of significant trauma to explain the injuries is indicative of abuse head trauma, child physical abuse, and nutritional neglect. They weren't feeding this baby. The history of a short fall into the kitchen sink does not explain her extensive and severe head trauma on her multiple bilateral rib fractures. Jake told me he went home after being at the hospital. Jake's sister grabbed his iPad and opened the internet browser. These officers, I'm glad that they collected their phones because they need to check all their search histories. Look, Jake's sister grabbed his iPad and opened the internet browser. Jake's sister, is this the same sister or is this a different sister? Jake is also blaming the sister here on some ish, okay? Look at this. This is in 2018. Jake told me the active browser page that opened was a search of how to feed a baby with broken ribs. Yeah. Jake said Vanessa had access to the iPad and had the iCloud account of Vanessa Jake Haro 20 at iCloud.com. A search of the iPad revealed the following Safari search timestamp, October 13, 2018, at about 1:19:58 a.m. It is hard to feed a baby with fractured ribs. This was prior to the hospital visit. They didn't want to give this baby medical attention, okay? They were searching on how to feed this baby. On November 7, 2018, I spoke to Jake. Jake informed me he did not use the iPad on October 13th. Of course, he lied. Jake was informed informed me that he does not take the iPad to work. I asked Jake if Vanessa caused the injuries to V1, and Jake stated, at this point, yes. On June 18, 2019, okay, now this is several months later, Jake voluntarily came to speak with me. Jake said, if you ask me, do you see her doing this 8 months ago? I would have told you no way. If you ask me now, it had to have been her. Jake was referring to his wife, Vanessa. Jake and Vanessa willfully caused or permitted V1 to suffer unjustifiable pain. And so then this is the arrest affidavit that was in 2018. Yeah. So, bro, check his searches. Check it all. Check it all. Another thing that they pulled, shout out to the internet and all the sleuths, they pulled all of the related emergency sheriff department calls from the block. Okay, and some of these are codes. Like there's one here that it's C welfare, which is a child welfare code, and that was on 2022. So the addresses are there for that. I mean, it's kind of hard to kind of break all that down, but I mean, they had several calls in that property and whatnot. Guys, it's just a horrible, horrible situation that these people, like, they caused this shit. Okay. They caused this. And then the crazy part is that they thought they were going to get away with it. Okay. And luckily, the San Bernardino police literally has gotten on their asses and was like, oh no, we're not doing that. And all the sleuths are working together to figure this out too. Like, this is the crazy part. It's like they really thought that they were going to get away with this. They really thought they were going to get away with this.
We begin tonight with a grim update out of Southern California. Police thought something didn't add up, and now the parents of a missing 7-month-old baby are under arrest, facing charges of murder. Good evening, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. Police continue to search for the body of 9-month-old Emmanuel Haro tonight. Sources tell News Nation that police believe the father killed the baby.
The father.
And they say it happened inside the home.
And is he going to blame her? How do you put a 10-week-old baby through unjustifiable pain? Like, why even have kids if you're going to be doing some BS like that? You shouldn't be around kids. You shouldn't be around animals. You shouldn't be around any living thing. Why do this to a child? A 10-week-old child. You don't want your kid? Hey, man, take it to a fire department. Terminate your rights. Don't hurt your children like this. Like, it is next level evil, y'all. It really is.
Sources tell us a substantial amount of blood was found on the carpet inside. The baby's mother, Rebecca, first reported Emmanuel missing 8 days ago on August 14th. She said that around 7 p.m. she was changing his diaper outside her truck in a retail parking lot when a man came up behind her, attacked her, and knocked her out. When she woke up, she said, Emmanuel was gone.
I woke up right here on the floor.
Crazy, man.
And I didn't see Emmanuel. If you know anything, please come and bring my son back. Please, I'm begging you. If anyone knows anything.
This woman is like, I swear, knowing what we know now, I want to get the hands on her. Y'all don't even know. I'm like, I cannot believe, just to cover up for this guy. Just to cover up for this guy. I cannot wait to see this arrest and complaint. Like, I want to see it all. I want a mug shot. We have yet to see a mug shot. But I just want to see an arrest complaint. I mean, literally, I want to see it. I want us to cover this court case. We gonna cover that. Like, I'm so invested in making sure that this baby. But the reality of the situation is, guys, is there has to be changes to these laws as it pertains to somebody who has multiple child abuse charges. If you've endangered the life or any kind of child cruelty to an infant, 10-week-old baby, okay, a preemie, whatever it may be, there needs to be something in the books where people can flag you for this. It just needs to happen. But it has not happened. It hasn't. People get away with this. This man shouldn't have gotten away with the stuff that he did to his to the baby girl, to Promise Faith.
Police reportedly found inconsistencies in Rebecca Haro's story almost immediately and confronted her about it. From there, everything went south. Police said Rebecca stopped talking. Investigators searched the parents' home, took their car, and issued warrants for all their phones and electronic devices. Child Protective Services took custody of their 2-year-old child.
As they should.
And Jacob Haro's criminal history quickly came to light.
You know what, though? Kara says, how did the grandma who was there at the house miss the blood? Because the grandma is not paying attention. Who knows if she was actually there? Here's the question. The thing about this, and this is in a lot of cultures, in various cultures in the community and stuff like that, people tend to protect the men in their families, right? That's what they do, is you protect the men in the family. And so when grandma came forward and was like, oh, they're homebodies, they would never do this, blah, 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 with her Virginia Slim voice, shout out to the smokers. I'm just saying, she got a very distinct Virginia Slim voice. She really does. And I'm being messy because I'm mad. Okay. I'm just going to say it. She got a little bit of a smoker's tone to her, right? They don't do nothing. They're homebodies, yada, 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 pendejo, blah, blah, blah. That kind of shit, right? It's like, lady, I'm sure you probably defended him when when he beat the life out of that 10-week-old baby, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Sorry, y'all. Don't get mad at me. If you smoke Virginia Slims, shout out to you. Okay. I'm just saying. She just gave me that. All right. Whatever. I don't smoke. So it is what it is. Yeah, like that little the smoker's rouse. Okay. Y'all are laughing. Listen, this is such a horrific situation. I have to be able to like laugh every once in a while, because if not, y'all gonna hear me like cry here. And I don't want to be crying in front of thousands of people. Okay. All right, let's keep playing this.
He was convicted of child cruelty, a felony over serious injuries to a 10-week-old baby girl back in 2018. In fact, a journalist told our own Ashley Banfield last night that the baby girl was hurt so badly she can no longer see, talk,
3%
or
of her
walk
brain
to
function.
this day. Let's bring in our panel of experts now. Kim Dagonia is the former assistant district attorney for Riverside County, California. Bobby Chacon is a former FBI special agent, and Laura Mathias is a journalist and hosted the Hidden True Crime podcast.
Shout out to True
Great to have
Crime
all
Podcast.
three of you here. Kim, I'd like to start with you. They've not yet found the baby's body, but they have already charged the parents with murder. How much evidence do you need before you can file charges like this?
Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for having me. In a case like this, the standard is probable cause in order to have both parents arrested for the charges of murder. So it sounds like from what your investigation has uncovered that there seems to be quite enough evidence to charge both with murder.
Bobby, parents are both in custody tonight. They will obviously try, they're being held separately. They'll probably try and get one of them to flip and confess, likely the mother, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Exactly, Elizabeth. I mean, we've been down this road before. You pick out which one you think you'll have the most success putting pressure on, and that in this case, because of his prior history, I think it would be the mother.
I don't know. He's a coward too, especially because he was blaming, like he blamed the sister for the searches. I don't know if that's that sister. It might be a different sister. Who knows how many sisters this guy has? But he blamed the sister for the searches, and then he blames the mother, Vanessa. He tried to get a protection order against her. I'm like, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. No ownership, no nothing, can do no wrong. He gets his lawyer, right? Doesn't get her a lawyer. He's going to look out for him. Okay? He's already SOL. You do realize, guys, you guys do realize that he has a weapons charge pending, right? He's supposed to be going to court, I think September 3rd for this weapons charge. There's another court hearing for, you guys remember Isabel Gonzalez, his first wife. She put in a protection order for her and her son, Eli, right? The 11-year-old that they used for that football practice. So there's a hearing, I believe the second or first week of September for that as well. So he's got a couple of things going on, but I mean, I don't know. Are they going to be granted bond or bail? Like, are they going to make bond or bail? They really should, because I wouldn't be surprised if they try to flee or anything. I do think that there's a family will cover up for family, and I could definitely see them fleeing. Honestly, put that bond way all the way high to the sky so they don't leave.
And she's obviously,
the father's the one with the prior history.
Right, and the mother would be the one that you would put the pressure on, but it's her child as well. So I think that
yeah, they don't have bail right now, but when after they see the judge, we don't even know if that's going to be granted or not.
That's exactly what the strategy at this point is going to be. I'll really go with both of them hard and see if you can get some cooperation.
Lauren, sources tell News Nation not only that there was a lot of blood inside the home, but that all the photos of Emmanuel had been removed from the house. All the baby's clothing had been thrown away. How long do we think this baby might have been dead?
I think that we are suspecting actually quite a long time, according to the true crime podcasting community. They have been speculating when the last time Emmanuel was seen. We're hearing various dates, some even saying as early as August 3rd, but there's no sighting that we have known of the day of this. Now we don't even have to say alleged kidnapping. Well, I guess alleged kidnapping still, but
alleged murder in this case.
Alleged murder now, right? Exactly. Thank you, Elizabeth. And we are seeing this sort of pattern of like, it's been quite some time since baby Emmanuel has been seen. So who knows when this alleged murder now actually even happened.
Bobby, what do police do? I mean, you have a lot of experience in this. How do they, and we're seeing video right here. This is of Rebecca Haro being taken into custody, handcuffed. She's been officially charged with murder already. What do police do in this case? They still haven't found the body of this baby.
Yeah, and sound like that's the next biggest step. That's where all the resources are going to go into. And now what you're doing is you're looking at cell phone data. You're looking at if you can track their cars or their cell phones in the last few weeks, like we just heard. We don't know how long the baby's been missing. We don't know when the last time the baby's been found. They probably have an idea from talking to friends, neighbors, and relatives on who last saw the baby other than these two parents. And then so
I'm telling you, go check their phones. When was the last time Rebecca or Jake Haro took a picture of that baby? If there hasn't been any recent pictures, that should give people the time frame. And I hate to put it that way, but it's the truth, y'all. Like I got a lot of parents in my chat. Maybe you guys can attest to that. If you've had babies, you take so many pictures, between the time that they got a runny nose, you're taking a picture. They did a funny face, you're taking a picture. They're wearing something cute, you're taking a picture. That's what you do. That should give people a time frame. And when was the last time they saw this child or this child was alive?
Can work from that kind of rough date. And then look at if you can somehow pinpoint the parents' movement.
Yes.
Either through their cell phones,
too.
through the mileage on their cars, where they got gas, and things like that. I live not far from this area. I live about 20 minutes away. And there's a lot of rough terrain in this area. It's also very hot this time of year. It's 115 degrees in my house today. You'd have to just start looking in a lot of different places.
Baby formula is a little bit tricky. I don't know if this baby is breastfed or was breastfed, but that's another factor too. I don't know if she was breastfeeding. So baby formula is a little bit of a tricky, but definitely diapers and wipes. Definitely diapers, unless you're using recyclable diapers, is what I'm saying. I think that the phone thing is always kind of a telling clue, in my opinion, but you guys let me know what you think.
And you have to be ready to go forward if you don't find the body, because there is that chance.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our new.
All right, so we're going to go to Abby Blabby. Jake Haro has filed 6 workers' comp claims since 2014. This lazy mother effer. I'm sorry, y'all. It just one was just 3 weeks after he almost killed the baby back in 2018. So is that what he was? How do you file 6 workers' comp claims? How does that work? And for what exactly?
Y'all check this out. In the Emmanuel Haro case, not only is his father Jake a child beater and alleged unaliver, but he's also a fraudster. Let me show you his 6 workers' comp claims. So this one says date of injury, March 25th, 2014 through November 8th, 2018. It says he was working at Walmart and he injured his hips and his knee. February 23rd, 2017, while working for Amazon, he injured his back, his hips, and his knee. November 8th, 2018. So like 3 weeks after he almost beat his baby to death. While working at Walmart, he apparently injured his arm, wrist, back, leg, and multiple other parts. October 1st, 2022, employer Las Palomas Estates. He apparently injured his abdomen, his chest, shoulders, knee, and digestive system, his stomach. December 5th, 2022.
How do you injure your digestive system? Did they have like a cookout or something and he ate something he wasn't supposed to eat? I know, Dee phone home, right? Like what? You said right, Berlin. Will he eat something? Did they have like a little cookout or something and the food wasn't all the way there? I didn't know you could file workman's comp for digestive issues. Somebody explain it to me. Has anybody listen? Workman's comp is important, but has anybody ever filed one for stomach issues? What does the stomach have to do with the? Okay, hold up. Let me go back. Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Chest, shoulders, knee, and digestive system, his stomach. December 5th, 2022.
Hold up. What?
October 1st, 2022, employer Las Palomas Estates. He apparently injured his abdomen, his chest, shoulders, knee, and digestive system, his stomach. December 5th, 2022 through October 7th, 2024, employer Blue Triton Brands Incorporated. He injured his arm, wrist, hand, back, and hips.
You guys are saying tummy aches. Oh my God. Y'all are so bad in my comments. He had a tummy ache. Somebody brought something to that, worker cookout or something. Work release and workman's comp. That's what I'm saying. Like, what? I've never seen that. Never. One time I got hurt at the job. I did workman's comp. This was many years ago. Somebody sprayed a liquid on my eyes, and it was like a chemical, and it really burned. I filed for workman's comp then. But other than that, hold up, y'all. That's it. Here you go, my love. You have to skip it. Thank you. Other than that, I've never. Other than that, that was it. So, anyways, let me keep playing.
And lastly, September 29th, 2024, so almost a year ago, the employer again was Blue Triton Brands Incorporated, and he claimed to have injured his neck, arm, hand, shoulders, and multiple other parts. Now, it says on his booking sheet from yesterday that he's 5'10" and 210 pounds, so he's a pretty big guy. I personally don't believe for one single second that he's getting injured that much. Seems to me like he was just trying to get some money.
I can agree with that. It's not giving that. I mean, I don't know, y'all. So does he not did he not have a job when all of this went down? Does he work? Or does she work? This is his brother. This is his brother. Let's see. Records show that Hector Haro, brother of Jake Haro, died inside the Haro residence. Is it the same residence or a different residence? That's crazy. I mean, there's just so much craziness that follows this situation, y'all. I don't even know. And then the fact that they found blood. And by the way, people are dragging the attorney, which I will say I find it to be very comical. Let me show you guys. Lord have mercy, this person right here, look. Timu and Associates, we don't know what to say, so we'll make it up along the way. The lawyer is very upset. He's been blocking people all over because he's like, I'm tired of people tagging me and trying to get me to do different things and say different things and whatnot. He's like, I don't want to get tagged anymore. I don't want to get harassed anymore. I mean, people are coming after him. It's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy that this is happening. Hold up. Now, again, this is SF Investigates. This is what we pulled yesterday. Yesterday, he was, SF was a guest at Law and Crime as well. Was this yesterday too? Yeah, this is 20 hours ago. SF Investigates actually, there he is. SF Investigates was actually on our channel a day ago.
Bedroom, which would be
actually for those that watched it, because he's out there. He was saying, he's like, we're just waiting. Was it Thursday? Thursday morning. He's like, watch, we're just waiting for an arrest, and then the arrest happens the following day. So shout out to SF Investigates for the good work that he's doing out there, because he's really putting in the work of all this drone footage. And Uvalde Foundation, for those that don't know, that missing. They go out there and they look for missing kids or support. They were raising money for this situation. They posted something on Twitter basically requesting that the grandmother be investigated as well, which I kind of agree at this point. She should be investigated.
They told us they pulled away from helping and pulled their reward money when they learned that Emmanuel was not seen at that football game. And there were also major questions about Rebecca's bruise under her eye, because that is not fresh enough to fit the timeline that she gave law enforcement and the public. Joining us now is missing persons private investigator Steve Fisher, who is on scene outside the Haro's home. Steve, I apologize for my voice. I lost it overnight, but some big breaking news we're following here. What are you seeing?
So I got out here, today to continue just doing some searching, including some drone mapping and whatnot. And then early this morning, they served murder warrants on the house for both parents. They came in with a Bearcat. SWAT team came in and took them out. And now, what's been going on, I've kind of seen some of what's going on from the air, and I've talked to a few of the officers. Is detectives I've seen them sifting through garbage in the rear corner of the house, and I've seen a couple inside the house. They
Yep.
seem to be focused in one bedroom, which would be the building on the west side of the property.
It is a bear cat. We were calling it a bobcat. Not the bobcat. It is a bear cat. You're absolutely right. Rebecca also had workman's comp complaints on her record. Lord have mercy. Why? I don't know what to say, y'all. Hold up. And let me shout out some people. I do apologize. I've been behind the chat. Elsa, thank you so much for this $2. That's why the mom was saying 7 months when she should be 9 months. Yeah, the number. Now I'm questioning the DOB of this baby boy. Is he really 7 months? Is he 9 months? Is he 8 months? How many months was he? Is he? We don't know. Pippi, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Elsa says, I worry this story. People forget about baby Noel from Texas. I'm not familiar with baby Noel. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. Nicole says, apparently Rebecca's brother is serving time for murdering his GF. Violence seems to be the norm. Well, from both sides, right? Because I heard about this too. Oh, it's a beautiful candle. Thank you. Make it pretty. Thank you. Yes, Nicole. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. I heard it too as well. Now hold up. El Carly, Jake refers to Emmanuel as it's 3 times. In Nancy Grace's video titled Mom Please After Baby Emmanuel Kidnapped During Attack Outside Store, Jake refers to Emmanuel as it. It? Yeah, that's El Harley. That's always like a parent that refers to their child as an it is always concerning to me, right? Like, who would say that? It gives me Alexi Treviso. It wasn't breathing. It wasn't moving. It wasn't nothing. Yeah, no.
What might have brought them back? Because they looked at the house before and they had served search warrants there, but then they come back this morning and we don't know what it was that led to the arrest, but what might they be looking for?
It's a good question. We know that they seized their electronics and they may have even had wiretaps on other family members. Maybe they found something there. But the attorney said something interesting the other day. Although he wasn't correct about them digging holes in the backyard, he did mention something about them digging some sort of holes inside the house. And they do seem to be in this one bedroom. And, we don't know how long of a head start they had on this. This child, nobody seems to be able to say when the last time this child was seen.
Yep.
Could that child be under cement inside? Who knows?
Yeah, I know. And you wonder too, because this was this case where the story was very sketchy, but then to see like murder today and they don't know where Emmanuel is. But in your experience, to have someone accused of murder when you don't have a body, what type of evidence would you would need something that would make it believe that this isn't, he's not with someone else, that unfortunately this 7-month-old boy is dead.
Circumstantial. Remember I told you guys they probably went in there with the luminol and stuff like that to figure things out, but all they really need is circumstantial. I think Callie's really big on circumstantial evidence.
Yes, and you could definitely prove murder circumstantially. However, it's a really high burden, and for them to come out, there was other charges they could have started with if they just wanted to press and get them in custody. He's already on probation. It'd be easy to violate him on a child neglect charge, same with her and lying to authorities, because some of their stories just didn't match up with what we saw in surveillance. However, they went, the DA, who's the one who files these charges, felt that they had enough to go for murder on both of them, and or not, it is murder. So they have something, whether it's communications, whether somebody rolled over on them that we don't know yet, another family member or something.
I think they have footage. That's one thing I do believe that they have. I believe they have a lot of footage. I also believe that, maybe they collected something in their search engine and phone. Like I said, Jake Haro is an idiot. He definitely demonstrated that. He thinks that people are just going to believe his ish. It's a whole different level. I think that there's probably have a lot more than what we know for them to have gone forward this way.
They're confident. Sadly, they're confident that he is deceased, and it is at the hands of both of them.
Yeah, and I think the both of them, part of it is interesting because Jake has the one with the attorney. Rebecca does not have an attorney to our understanding, but to charge both of them And Rebecca's the one who made the claim in the first place, where you would almost think if you have an attorney that he'd be able to say, hey, this was Rebecca's, she did this. We didn't do anything about it. You would have to think that there's something that links them beyond being married.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's going to turn on her and blame her. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that. Moody Mary, thank you so much for this. Hey, Rabbit, such a sad case. Love you from Portugal. I hope they find this baby, okay? Because, to give the baby a proper rest, so that there's a proper burial. This baby didn't deserve this. And this could have been preventable, y'all. This could have been whatever it may be, man. I'm telling you, this could have been prevented. This baby didn't deserve this. I really hope that they find it in their hearts to say where they put this baby, so that people can put this baby to rest. Put this little soul to rest. Okay? That's what we want. I'm very spiritual that way. I believe that sometimes a proper burial is important, okay, so that people can pay their respects, whatever it may be. It's just sad, man.
Yeah. So if it happened, let's say there was mutual combat between them, and then the child got in the middle, or even if it was at the hands of one of them, but the other was there and didn't report it, it's still, it's still homicide. It's still considered murder. So especially if investigators think this has been a very long time, and then they concoct this story, and it's a fairly sizable family too. There's a lot, if you pull their backgrounds, there's a lot of family members that actually use this address. I have there should be a lot of questions for those family members too, because this is like another Harmony Montgomery type situation. Why?
How long have they lived in that property? I don't know if we've figured that out yet, but it sounds like they've been there for a couple years. They haven't been married that long that I think of. So I do wonder how long they've been residing in this property.
Nobody seemed to know where the child's been, and nobody can account, including the grandmother who came out and was defending. When did she last see this child? And I think those are questions that I hope are answered.
And you wonder too, the other children who were in the home. I know a 2-year-old was taken out of the house, but what have they seen? And what can they tell? What have they told investigators? I can see where you are, and it's very vast. I mean, it's just desert behind you. What is the scene like there around this home? I mean, we've seen it from the drone video you've shot.
So they're at the end of a street. Cabazon only has about 2,000 residents. The only thing that's really here is the Casino Morongo, which is, I don't know if you can see the tall building there, which they're directly across the 10 from. They're on a street where they have basically one neighbor on their side, and then they have one across the street, and then the one that burnt down, that's one down across the street, and then a sheriff's station. But it's very, very remote. There's nothing out here, and this is simply, it's really, before the casino was built, it was a truck stop, and it's just a truck stop.
It seems like it's really rural, kind of in the middle of nowhere type of situation. Wim just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Wim. I hope you're doing well. Make sure you guys are dropping some hearts if you've been gifted by anybody. Thank you so much, Wim. Really appreciate it. You said if he's been missing longer than we think, that the family must have asked where he is, right? Somebody, Christy, you think maybe somebody in the family said something, or said we haven't seen him, and then they got kind of weird, and they said, hey, we need to figure this out. Where's the money for the attorney coming from? You have 2 parents that aren't working. Are they working? Do they work? What do they do? Jake Haro is on workman's comp or disability? I don't know. How are they able to afford these lawyers? Who's giving them money? What is their job? Who pays this property rent? There's so many questions that don't is somebody giving them money? How is she making a living? What does she do? Have we figured that out? I have yet to see anybody say, well, this is what they do for a living. Something's off. And of course, the most important question is when was the last time anybody saw this baby? They got workers' comp, but they came from somewhere, right? So who's keeping up with the home? Who's the bills? How is this lawyer getting paid? It's not making sense. And now it sounds like people are saying that Rebecca has a lawyer. I have yet to see that lawyer make a statement. But Care Bear, you think that workers' comp would have lasted that long for a stomach ache? Sorry, I'm sure it wasn't. Oh my God, I can't get over that digestive issues is a workman's comp thing. It's weird to me. Yeah, rock my world kind of girl. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you. And then you also gifted. If you guys have been blessed, make sure you guys put a heart in the chat by rock my girl kind of girl. Thank you so much. I don't think it's Section 8. That property is not giving Section like at all. I don't think that they would have been able to afford any of that, you know? I don't know. That property, it's got solar panels. For God's sakes, like it's a big property. I don't know what it looks like in the inside. I'm sure people have pulled up the what is it when you can look at realtor.com, you can look inside the property and stuff like that. They've been living there for a couple years too. You said Jake gets baby mamas. Yeah, you said these people are gone. That's what it's giving. Belen, it's giving I don't have a job. Or it's giving I just don't have any stability. Anyways, let me hit play on this.
Area, and it's about 20 miles to get into like Ucaipa, and then about 25 more miles into Palm Springs. So we're in the middle of nowhere. So as far as not being going undetected, I mean, this is, who knows, if you want to get rid of somebody, there's a ton of area to do it. Not to mention a lot of this is Indian reservation. So then you have access problems, for searching and whatnot. So hopefully they left some sort of, digital, even, there's an amazing ability through programs like Celebrite that are available to law enforcement that they can recover deleted messages and files on phones and stuff like that. And I imagine that probably came into play here as well.
There's part of this story too, Steve, where now we have the murder arrest, the murder investigation, but the biggest question is, where is Emmanuel Haro? And I know we've been talking about where this story first started in some ways Thursday night with the mom at Rebecca at that sporting goods store. But like, from what you've gathered, how do you figure out when the last time someone saw this child? Because we don't know.
Yeah, so I think you got to go back to events that like you can place her at without the child. So I know I saw her at the funeral service for, I believe it's his brother, one of their brothers. That was on August 5th, I believe. She's clearly in that video. The child doesn't appear to be. So I would ask, okay, who was taking care of the child? And if she can say, hey, it was this babysitter or whatever, and you interview that person and they did indeed, then you can say, okay, the child was alive then. But if she doesn't have a story for that, then you got to keep going backwards to win. I have a feeling, it's just a gut feeling, this child probably hasn't been seen in a couple months. This child's probably been gone a while, and it probably just got to the point where they're like, we have to put the story in motion.
I have a feeling that that's the same thing too. And I cannot wait to figure out when this was, like, when grandma said the child wasn't vaccinated, they didn't want to take the child out of the car seat. How old are these pictures? That's the question that I had. I said, are these the most recent pictures? There's only 4 pictures. What does her Facebook look like? I don't know. I'm sure she's probably shut all that down. But when were these pictures taken? When did all this, when the ones that we have right now, these the only pictures that we have? Are these a month ago, 2 months ago? How old are these pictures that they gave law enforcement?
Even though it was not a very well thought out one, they might have thought it was. But, one thing I think is that just I can't get away from, and I just keep thinking about over and over in this case, is this didn't have to happen. He was convicted of these child cruelty charges, and he was given 180 days. Now, this is a child that's left with 3% brain function, from what we're told, is blind, is
crazy,
has no ability to take care of themselves now. Thank God there was another family member that lovingly took that child in. He got 180 days sentence for that, which he was given a day in county jail and 179 days of work release, where he got to go home at night for essentially, all the quality of life away from he took everything from this child except for actual life. And that's what the DA of County agreed, and that's what the judge would do, and that is just wrong. And this,
I'm so glad he's saying this, because he's absolutely right. SF is absolutely right. That is just wrong. That is wrong. This isn't somebody that was picking a fight with him. This isn't a self-defense situation where Jake was running away from his life. This was a 10-week-old baby. What is the life worth of a 10-week-old baby? Literally wrong. Wrong for the judge, wrong for the DA. Shame on them, because guess what? He did it again. And you know what he had to do? For that baby, I posted it on the community wall. Let me go to my channel real quick, because it says right there, and this is through just some of the things that he had to do. He had to take, Jake Haro was sentenced to 180 days in jail, Sheriff's work release program, given a suspension, 4-year prison sentence, was ordered to attend a child abuser treatment program. The same for the mother too. Did he learn from that program? Did he learn if he K'd another child? No, he didn't. He didn't. I would, no. Crazy, huh?
It's partially on them, as far as I'm concerned. This child wouldn't have been born if he was in jail like he should have been. He was given a 6-year sentence that was all suspended to 180 days, and 79 of that 180 days of work release. He did 1 day. He did less than somebody that got a DUI would do, and that is permanently brain damaged.
He got less than somebody with the DUI would get. You get, oh my God. Like, even that, it makes me so mad. Okay.
And I hope that the DA and the judges see what, understand what's happened here, and we gotta be held accountable. You cannot do that being and get 1 day of jail.
Yeah, I mean, it was
not right.
And the child in that case was 10 weeks old. It was from a previous, I think, marriage or relationship with his ex-wife. 2018, this baby goes, I know you.
That's a good point, though. Yeah, nothing says that they're getting any kind of disability for the child, because that would require a lot of doctor appointments. I mean, they would have eyes on this baby if that was the case. We don't know that, but that's a good point, Cheeks.
Saw the reports. I mean, you read through it, and it's been reported that this child, she's now 7, but her quality of life is so difficult because of Jake Haro. And that's not an alleged thing. It is, he was convicted of it and got off very lightly. And now we're in a situation where he's accused of murder for a boy that we have no idea where he is. Recapping some of the stuff we've talked about this week, Steve, because for people who are just joining us, the Big 5 store and where Rebecca said all of this happened. No one, and from people you've talked to, no one saw the baby with her when she says he was taken and she was, hit in the face, where suddenly she has this very small black eye for apparently being knocked out.
That's a good question. I wonder if he had a life insurance policy for the child. Sometimes people do have life insurance policies for children. It's correct.
And hitting the ground.
I think what they were trying to do is they an event, which was the football practice. And I think that was to create some distance from the house. In other words, oh gosh, Emmanuel's gone missing, but in Ukaipa, it just, listen, in this day and age, there's scammers everywhere, and it doesn't matter if there wasn't on that store, there was other ones. And also, investigators have a lot of tools available to them now, especially, in the digital age, and you're just not gonna get away with, something like that. And who knows if the child will ever be found? Look, Harvey Montgomery's still never been found, even though the father's been convicted of murder, and so I hate that thought, but he was robbed of his life, and that's just not fair.
Yeah, what does, because I know the Montgomery case you worked, and people know that case very well. In this one, what does the search look like now, knowing that this is a murder investigation, and even though you don't have a body, there's something that law enforcement found where they do not believe this child is alive anymore? What are the type of resources that are going to be used, and what's really the timeline of how long those resources will be used to find someone?
I think that they there's a smaller crew than you might expect to at that house right now. The scientific team is there in their truck and they seem to be focused in a certain part of the house. I think that they have reason to believe that
this is a huge house, guys, a huge property. It's a big property. I do wonder, and there's so many like detachments to it. I do wonder, is there a downstairs? I don't think it's got any stairs, but it's a huge property, y'all. It's very vast. Anything can be hidden. Anything can be, you don't have a next door neighbor. You have neighbors, but you don't have next door neighbors, if that makes sense.
There's at least evidence their event occurred there. If he may have been moved, they'll probably have significant bio evidence. They'll be able to say, okay, we got bio evidence here, so it was moved, the body was moved. Very well may be the reason we got the murder warrant is they may have luminoled that vehicle and found out that there was a body in that car. They might have got luminol, they might have run a cadaver dog in there and gotten a hit. But they're focused on the house. And so as far as what the search looks like going forward, I think that they'll have a lot to go off of. I have a feeling that from the attorney's comment about them digging a hole inside the house, never heard before, probably, maybe they
If
have something
connections
up.
going
But
in
I
and
think they'll have
out.
a really good idea. And then I think what you'll see is if they don't recover him there today, they'll have a more pinpointed area based on what they do find here. And then, listen, now they're charged with murder, right? So if there's going to be any, like, I want to try and get this down to second-degree murder, so maybe I get out in 40 years, they're going to have to talk, because there's no way that those negotiations are going to have without finding Emmanuel. And it's going to be one of them would get that deal. So, whoever talked first. So I do think he'll be found, because there's two of them charged.
I really hope that this baby's found and his connections going in and out. I think that's why it sounds like that.
If there's one charged, it would be difficult. Since there's two charged, I think next day or two we'll probably have his body.
It'll be interesting to now hear what the story will be for their defense after so many public alleged lies that they told. I mean, on television, looking straight into the camera, sounding at least like they were crying. It's just a very sad development in all of this. Steve Fisher, thank you as always for being with us on Law and Crime.
Appreciate it.
That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law and Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify.
All right. So shout out to SF Investigates. He was on our channel a couple days ago. Again, check him out. He's got a Twitter where he really does dedicate himself to finding. He's a professional private investigator. He finds missing people. This is his Twitter, and you can reach out to him there. And if you're like interested in going to see what he's doing, he'll post just about anything out here related to the case. Like, here's the affidavit. I find a lot of my information here. This is the area. This was yesterday. We reviewed this. So I definitely recommend you guys go out there. If Ahmad can drop SF's Twitter, that would be amazing. Thank you. Listen, all we can do is look. Some of y'all may not pray, that's fine, but if you pray, or wherever you put your energy, let's just hope that the body of this baby is found so that this baby can be put to rest. I think that is so important, y'all. And if mom can speak out and just say put this baby to rest, man. Let's just put this baby to rest. This baby didn't deserve this. Okay. I hope that throughout this, the truth comes out, and that the truth prevails out of all of this. We're going to stay on this. There's rumors. I'm going to keep an eye out if there's a presser. I don't know if there will be, but if there will be, make sure you guys come back to my channel and hit that notification. I want to thank everybody who supported today the channel. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Sometimes hitting the like button is all you have to do. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on the next one. I have to take baby bunny out. It's things like this that kind of reminds me of cherish your little ones. Just cherish your little ones. Okay. No matter how impatient and how crazy they might drive you, because trust me, babies can drive people crazy. You just got to cherish. Just spend time, because you just never know, man. You never know. You never know, man. And it's okay to take space. Ask for your support system. Sometimes I'm like, I've had too much. I'm out of here. Bring somebody in to help you out. It's okay. All right. I'll let you guys go. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.